years flow. I met my true love, and he proved. I'm a native of Mississippi. I was born just before World War II started, and from the time I was 1 year old, 1 year, I was taught to sing, learn to sing. My mother would say, rock-a-bye, and I would say, baby. That was the first thing I ever learned to sing. My generation was a singing generation. We sang in school, we sang in Sunday school, we sang at church, we sang at camps, we sang around campfires, we sang in the front yard, we sang all the time. And I have noticed that children don't do that anymore. Oh, you asked about me. Well, I graduated from Millsaps College in Jackson, and then eventually in English, and then finally I got my degrees, my graduate degrees in music, in the course of which I started teaching courses in folk music at Jacksonville State University in Jacksonville, Alabama. Got very interested in it and realized that nobody knows folk songs anymore, which I think is a shame, because folk music, indigenous American folk music, is not only a part of our culture, but is the basis of all other forms of music that we indulge in the United States. It's the basis of blues and jazz, country western, rock and roll, gospel, funky jazz, bebop, and classical music. It's not the basis of all classical music, but it's certainly a part of it. There are so many hundreds and hundreds of wonderful folk songs that children can learn. And if they learn them young, they'll remember them. So, that's enough about me. American folk music, genuine American folk music, came primarily from the British Isles and from Africa. And it was a part of our culture in my growing up years. But that was before television, computers, Twitter, whatever that is, and texting and email and beepers. We were a singing generation. We sang all the time. We sang in school, we sang in church, we sang at camp, and most of what we sang were folk songs. Some were religious in nature and some were not. The kind of folk song that I deal with, that I think is the most important, is indigenous, meaning that no one knows who first sang it, no one knows who wrote it or composed it. And most genuine American folk song is passed down by word of mouth, which means that it gets changed from time to time. But this is as our cook many years ago would say, this is the beauty part of it. It belongs to all Americans. Folk music is free. It's in the public domain, and it's for all to learn and to enjoy, because it's by my side. I lay there in the gutter. I think it's important because if the children learn them at that early age, they'll never forget them. If there are 36 weeks in a school year, and a child learns a song a week, that's 36 songs, and then the next year he'll learn 36 more, and the next year 36 more, they'll have a great basis of folk music in their lives. They'll never forget them. Now, not all folk songs are for little children. I have to be real careful with this. There's some folk songs for adults too, or for older people, that I don't introduce to the younger ages, but there are hundreds for the young people. Carl Sandburg felt this was important. He has done a great deal of research and written down many folk songs. So has Alan Lomax. And it goes along with folklore. It goes along with American history. You can use folk songs in teaching history and geography and cultural things. It's just important. And it's dying out. My great fear is that it's dying out now. And a pig came up and lay down by my side. I lay there in the gutter thinking thoughts I could but mutter, when a lady passing by was heard to say, "You can tell a man who boozes by the company he chooses.